We're live, so let's do this. I don't even think I have the video. No, I do not have a start for this. What a shock. Flashback 15 years ago on September 30th, 2008. And sure enough, we are having technical difficulties with several of our Facebook pages, just as we had back then. And I think it's kind of cool. I'm going to refer to it. I think it's apropos that we kind of do this, and it is kind of neat. This is the original sound file from that episode. I hope you can hear it.
Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening and welcome to Noriega Radio once again. I'm your host, Roger Noriega.
Hi, and I'm co-host Shazam. And here with us, we have our very first guest. This is the clock speaking. How you guys doing?
You have to forgive us for a moment.
Oh, it was ever so painful starting it off. As I mentioned, September 30th, 2008. Didn't know what we were doing. I'd forgotten that we had difficulties.
We're going to use one.
There it is. Never corrected it. Never bothered. Just went ahead and did it.
Good evening once again. This is Noriega Radio. Obviously, we had some technical difficulties. In the chat room, can you please tell us, are you receiving the transmission? Someone in the chat room, please tell us, are you receiving the transmission?
Listening, I have not heard this episode. This is crazy.
Okay. Good evening again. This is Noriega Radio. We apologize. Obviously, we're having difficulty. We're trying to work through it now. We want to go ahead and just start with our program. Once again, I'm your host, Roger Noriega.
Oh, that annoying
co-host
voice.
Shazam. And I'm Dubois. How are you guys doing?
Sergio.
We have a special guest tonight, Giselle, once again, who gave one of her reports early on.
My daughter.
She's going to go ahead and be reporting a little bit later. And I need the feedback to be... If there are any callers that want to go ahead and give us a shot right now, please go ahead and do so. But I'm just going to start with my report. I don't know if you've heard recently that considering all the stuff that's going on around us, and we'll get to it shortly. I don't know if you've heard, but the Mars lander finds minerals suggesting that there was past water. Apparently, this didn't make news. The only thing that's making news right now in America is about the bailout. But in one of the greatest moments, probably for mankind, we have yet further proof that there is life on Mars. And it is really incredible that there is, as I say, there's a history of it.
There is a history of it. Yeah, really? There's a history of it. Oh, my God. This is so painful.
Again, I apologize. We are having difficulty. Just bear with us.
I've been saying that for 15 years. Again, I apologize.
And it looks like I already have a caller, so I'm going to go ahead and give that caller a shot in a moment. But we're just going to go ahead and stick to the program. The Dow plunged 778 points yesterday on a House vote, and today it rose over 500 points.
It rised. Oh.
As you may remember, on my last program, I mentioned that the Dow is really just an indicator of what people are feeling. Yet again, people are gaining money and losing money just on pure emotion alone. It's very distressing that this is going on. Shortly thereafter, the American markets dropped, the Asian markets dropped. Again, why? Because of the vote no on the bailout. It is really distressing that in these times, people are relying on these measures which are just based on emotion. While the economy is fundamentally strong, we have to remember that right now, the political establishment is wishing to bail out the business aspect of it. And it's really a shame because there are good aspects to it and there are bad aspects to it. It is one thing that we will discuss on the third week of the month. And right now, I want to put that in your mind that it is something that we as citizens must be involved in. You know, the blank check itself is only going to bail out business. But we who have pension plans may lose money too. So it is something that we have to know why it is that we're involved in this. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over very quickly. I know who's giving me a call. I'm going to go over to the phone line now
First caller.
and take our first caller. Good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Mr. Noriega.
Ah!
Hey, a lucid dream. Oh, the cheese. Dude, what are you doing calling me again?
I just wanted to give you my blessing, Mr. Noriega.
Really? You want to give me a blessing? Why is that, sir?
Because I am making sure you don't go over 24 hours a week, Mr. Noriega. And I believe I want to be more informed about not losing money. The more money I lose, the less ceviche I get.
Okay, well, cheese. I appreciate that you're giving me some notice on this.
That was Carlos
Sir, I'd like to acknowledge that you called me and thank you. And I just hope that you'll be listening more often. And maybe next time you'll send me the emails as asked, sir. So just stay online and we'll talk to you a little bit later. So we're going to go ahead and go live. Now, we are having difficulty, as you can tell. Our speakerphone is not operating very well. So you have to bear with us.
Oh, that's right. We were using a phone.
I have here Claw and Shazam with me. And I wanted to ask their opinions, what
Claw,
they think
Sergio,
of the bailout
Casares,
at this time.
Shazam, John
Claw.
D'Ambrosio.
Tell me.
Go ahead. I really don't have much of an opinion about the bailout at this moment. I was talking to Roger off air on what I thought the bailout was going to be. Excuse me. Basically, I spoke to him that if the bailout was going to work, or if there really is going to be a true bailout, then it should be a true bailout to the American consumer. Simply because even if we are to pass this law, theoretically, we would give the bailout to the mortgage banks that gave us the money. But even if they were to get the money back, then they would get their money back, but we would still end up paying for it. So at least as of this moment, it doesn't make any sense that the bailout passes. I'm not an expert on this. I'm just giving out my opinion, but I'm pretty sure Roger is going to give me a little bit more insight to the issue.
Thank you, Claw. Shazam, what is your opinion on the bailout?
As McClaw stated, not being an expert, I likewise am not an expert in this matter, this topic of issue. I would say that probably shouldn't have the bailout because, a lot of people, people need to learn from their mistakes. They make the decisions to spend, to do this and that, and they failing helps sometimes. It helps you get better, you grow, be more successful. I think, that, shouldn't happen. But, like I said, I don't have a strong opinion on it. I haven't followed it that closely, but I'm sure, like Claus said, Roger will also probably give me more insight on it later, probably. Okay, Roger?
Thank you, Shazam. I want to go ahead and continue with the program. Some of the news that has been hitting California, especially in Los Angeles, the budget has been signed. And in the press telegram, there's a flash of the county takes $129 million hit from the state budget. In another, the Daily News, social services are hit hard, approximately $34 million more than was expected. They're saying that $33 million will come out from Medi-Cal, $8 million from probation camps, $10 million from mental health, $6 million from school and drug programs.
Thank you for this, for listening. Thomas, this is episode 1, the first official episode. I had Shazam there with me, and of course, Claw was there, and Gmo, I believe, showed up a little bit later, but this is episode 1. And thank you. Yes, by my many names. I'm just playing a little bit of it. I've never heard this episode up until today. And today is, I guess, our 15th anniversary, and we open year 16. We always wanted to be different here on NDB Media, and as you can tell, based on our voices, we are definitely different. And I thank Dream. Maybe he'll go ahead and join us. He will possibly do so. Can't call in like we used to, but I may try something on that. Good evening, Tanya. Thank you. Yes, it is our 15th anniversary. Yeah, you've never heard any of the episodes. You never rewatched. No. Hola, viejo. Big Dog, you still were not with us at this point. This was on September 30th. 2008. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe it. And uh, we've been on air ever since. It was on January 29th, I believe it was, of 2009, not a few months after of us going on air on September 30th, that NDB showed up for the first time. It was Noriega Radio for the longest. And I have to tell you, listening to my voice, it is very painful. And it is, good God. I am amazed at how many phrases I still have. And I am stunned at everyone that's tuning in. Yes, I know for some reason I scheduled this episode to go at 8 p.m. Pacific time, which was the time we used to start. It was at 8 p.m. So when I set this bad boy up, I went with that time. But no, I decided to go with 6 p.m. right now, which is nothing new. I was changing things, but hearing my voice, it is, oh, it's just absolutely painful, absolutely painful. If any of our co-hosts, ownership issues, I had them then, I have them now. If you care to join, you're more than welcome. I'm going to be talking about the network. I'm going to go back to some of the videos, but we did two test videos or two test programs in September. Our first official caller, as you heard, was the Commodore, Carlos Valen. Wow. We went on to do the Daily 15, which was a blast, an incredible blast. Actually, every episode that we did, painful and otherwise. And 15 years. 15 years. So many people have contributed. It's not me. I'm the one that paid the bill on it. And actually, for those of you that remember, Blog Talk Radio didn't charge us for the first 2 years. I've never considered this me. I've always considered it an umbrella that had all of us. And in a small way, I guess I did create a small universe that we could play in. We've all gone on to bigger and better, most notably Tanya, and many people. And I'm going to be going over the list of everyone who's been on at one time or another. But I have to tell you, I can't believe I'm being consumed by the emotion on this right now. This is crazy. But just listening a little bit. Our first guest was in November, if I'm not mistaken, looking over the list of items that we have. Uh, wow. And I still have that audible pause. It's annoying as heck. There it is. Sports Talk with the Guys. The first episode that we have recorded or that still lives is November 8th, 2008. And we went for we started at 9 a.m. Gosh, I remember that. We did election returns on November 5th, 2008. Oh, man, that was awesome. That was an awesome night. We were in my garage in Southgate, and I was at my desk. Shazam was on my right. Claw was in front of me. And I don't recall if Dream was there for that night or if it was Mr. Becerra, otherwise known as Bam. And the other part of the office, which extended into the washroom, we had two other stations set up. Tropic Thunder was there with us, as you know. That was Peter, not Peter Gama. Big Dog did join us that Saturday prior to the election, which is funny. And then, of course, my daughter, Gmo. There were 6 of us doing election returns. That was an awesome episode. That was incredible. And I'm going to start replaying these episodes, I think, once a week. They're painful. They're annoying as heck. But it's who we are and how we started. I know on November 25th, USS Excelsior was in the house. James Haney, he was one of our first. December 9th, the Romulan Wars. Then we did the year-end extravaganza on December 30th, 2008. That was our 14th episode. It was a year-end. On January 6th, Mission of Mercy. It was a program, a fan program that was set to go. They weren't ever able to get going, but I wanted to see them. The concept of them. They were all paramedics in real life, and they wanted to do a program, a Squad 51 or emergency in the Star Trek realm. That was a cool concept. The USS Endeavour fan club joined us in January 13th, 2009. We did a Myers-Briggs episode on January 27th. This is all 2009. Farragut and Neo FX joined us on February 3rd. Oh, right as taxi was getting going. Unbelievable. We did our first joke night on March 3rd, 2009. That was crazy. We did Conspiracy and Shadows on March 17th, 2009. We also did a Battlestar Galactica review on March 15th. But on March 21st, that was the finale, the review. That was one of our highest rated episodes at the time. 500 downloads. Unbelievable. I remember that one. Thomas was in on that one. Fred was in on that one. We had another guest who joined us. Fred's one of Fred's friends, and we had someone from Blog Talk Radio who passed away join us. He is still on Facebook. He is still in our group. I have not removed him. He was a big deal on Blog Talk Radio, and he was one of the first time I asked, "Why are you slumming it with us?" And when Blog Talk Radio started, he was famous. Wow, he was a big name. And we did this program. I think it was around midnight, and having him show up was absolutely awesome. Let me go to the list of members. Sean Daly. I miss him. I believe he had a stroke and he passed away. He was a good guy. That was a surprise. But we went on to do other things, Conspiracy and Shadows. I know we did a barbecue party. I don't recall what we did and where. That was in April. But we were doing lots of different things. And it was absolutely fun. We did our first themed program on April 5th, 2009, First Contact Day. Keith R.A. DeCandido joined us on April 7th. David Mack on my birthday on April 21st. We did a Marvel Extravaganza, episode 31 on April 28th. Then Dayton Ward joined us on May 3rd. And I believe that was our 8 days of Star Trek. Tucker Smallwood joined us as well. Then we had our Star Trek event on May 5th. Eddie Paskey. You know who Eddie Paskey is. He recently passed away, and he also joined us. And it was something where it was cool. And he mentioned to us that no one ever asked him. No one ever interviewed him, and we were thrilled. We did May 7th, which was day 6 of the Star Trek week. We did a movie review on May 8th. On May 9th, we did Sports Talk with the guys. And David Galanter, who also recently passed away on May 12th. I think it's been a year now, I should say. But Lawrence Montaigne joined us on May 17th. Temporal Investigations was in on May 13th. This was all of our first year. It was incredible. And I apologize. I was looking at another screen. Good evening, Big Dog. You were there basically from the beginning as well. I'm genuinely caught up in all of this. You've been at this from the beginning. I mean, even though you weren't there on September 30th, I was already on your Heine to join because I wanted to do a sports program, and it took almost 2 months to get you to come aboard. Incredible how times have changed, huh?
Oh yeah, times have changed a lot. When we started doing sports talk with the guys, I didn't have a heart problem yet.
No, you did not. I think I'm the one that's responsible for your heart problem, so
Oh
I'll take the
no,
blame for it now.
nah,
I'm gonna see if I can find a sports talk with the
no,
guys episode,
no.
and we
This
got
is
to hear your voice, buddy.
this is Monday and Tuesday night in America. So no,
It,
this is all
it
about you.
is.
This is all about you.
Oh no, it never
Yes,
was about me, folks. The November 1st episode, the best episode that the
that's
Big
true.
Dog and I ever did, does not exist, sadly.
Blog Talk
So
Radio.
here, folks, I want you to listen. Oh my God, this is crazy. I want you to listen to the first official one of Sports Talk with the Guys. So I ask you to bear with us a moment. Big Dog, this is going to hurt. Check it out. I mean, it hurts me. Here we go. Oh, let me do that again.
Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Talk with the Guys on Saturday, home of the Monday morning quarterbacks on Saturday. This is your host, Roger Noriega, and
Peter Gama, good to hear from you guys.
Oh my God, we had real names.
At the time, yeah.
this morning I want to put out our radio call-in number. We're not going to take calls at this exact moment, but the number is 914-338-0314. Excellent. We just got a sound check. We're all good.
Yes.
So
remember the sound checks, Big Dog? Oh my God.
November 8th, 2008.
Your voice had the slightly higher pitch back then. It's got a little
Call-in number is 914-338.
little more baritone now.
By all means,
Yeah, there you go.
say hello.
Hi, Tanya. What's up, engineer?
Drop us a message.
What's up? Stud Muffin. Stud Muffin, you got to come on.
Silent.
Just for at least 5 minutes. Come on.
Rather late, don't you think? But anyway, just a bit. Just a little bit.
You must be working on county time.
I have no comment at this point. It's Saturday morning. And it's a Saturday morning and someone decided to stab me this early in the morning, I'm going to go straight to him now.
Oh.
So, Peter, why don't you go, Big Dog? Why don't you give us your first thing that you want to share with us today?
Well, we had a lot of stuff happen over this week in the NBA. Of course,
Of course, I opened up with the NBA.
Yes.
Hi, Tanya.
was traded from the Denver Nuggets to the Detroit Pistons for Chauncey Billups and Tony McDyess. He has yet to still play for Detroit because, if I'm not mistaken, let me pull that up real quick.
Going through my notes.
Yet passed his physical. So,
folks, time out here. You guys laugh at me when I do Ahsoka, when I do Lower Decks, and I have all these notes and stuff. Big Dog and I did that from day one. We knew, or at least he knew of what I had told him. I said, dude, if you write down a page of notes, that lasts 1 minute on air. So come ready to talk. And he did. And we would have stories. We had, obviously the Big Dog covered basketball, and that was his thing. I did baseball. And we kind of searched out everything else in between. We both tried college, and that died in 1 minute, right, Big Dog?
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Yeah, unless it was breaking news, we didn't do college.
Or like the Rose Bowl or one of the bowl games or something. And even then, we would just pretty much announce it, and that was about it.
It was not our expertise. We were not good at that. And we didn't want to lie to the audience. But did you folks hear that from the very beginning, we were the Monday morning quarterbacks on Saturday?
Yep.
That's from the very get-go. We've always been, always will be. And that goes back to November 1st, or in this episode, November 8th. And folks, now that I think about it, I think I'm gonna go and I'm gonna put some video, or I'm gonna choose some episodes that, oh, big dog, I don't know if I want to go back down. I've never heard those episodes again. And
But
the ones I'm talking about in March of 2011, and then on May 1st of 2011.
you need
You
to find
remember
the
those?
insight. You need to find the inside source episode. That was funny.
Oh my goodness. Well, we'd have to
And
look back and say when Bonds was
yeah, and
going to
then
court.
and then the other episode we'd have to find would be the
Actually,
one
Big Dog,
where you
no
hit
one
your knee.
knows. Big Dog, forgive me a moment. Hold on a minute. No, I'm not gonna. I ain't listening for that.
Oh, that
Hell
was
no. Yeah,
hilarious.
you go
Oh
back
my
and listen. I ain't
god.
listening, folks. This is a Tuesday night audience for the evening. No one knows what the inside source is, and at least this audience. That is something that the Big Dog and I did at that moment, and we knew that's when we were listened to back then. It was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Folks, the other episodes I'm referring to is, as you know, I started covering breaking news and events, and my co-host would join me. And one of the more frightening, well, NDB Media broke the news in the United States of the earthquake and tsunami in Japan. We were on air as the tsunami was hitting. We have live. Well, you don't have live video, but you can hear me commenting on what I was watching on CNN, MSNBC, and Fox. So, actually, I take it back. No, there was no MSNBC or none of that was on. It was NHK that I was watching. I was watching NHK. And that's how I saw the video, because when the tsunami hit, no one in America knew about it. So I had to remember that. I was thinking of other programs. Good evening, Almighty.
What's up, fellas?
Everything
What's
always nothing ever.
up?
Are you going to wish us a happy birthday? I mean, you're a part of it too, lad.
That's why, yeah, happy birthday. I glad I was able to get the notification and to remind me that it was today.
Yeah, well, it was set for 8 p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah,
And then,
no kidding. That's why I came on late. I was all ready to go. I was all getting myself ready for 8 o'clock, and I looked at my phone. And I'm like, "What? What do you mean it's on? Holy shit! What happened?
because
God damn it!"
Corekeeper is stupid.
It's one of those things where you did it so far in advance. It's like, that's a long way off. I have plenty of time. And then you forget about it.
The thing was that when I scheduled it, I was going to have it on at the same hour that we started the program at 8 p.m. Pacific time. So, and folks, the actual episode is September 30th, Tuesday night. But I have always traditionally celebrated the kickoff on the last Tuesday, or sometimes the last Monday in September. So it's always been the last Monday or Tuesday. And
So
sure enough,
you're like Thanksgiving.
I think so, sir. Yes. Well, we, not me. But as I was saying about the episode in March, it was during tax season. I had a client over, and I got the breaking news from the LA Times. Used to piss everyone off. I would get I was beating everyone, and I didn't want to tell anyone where my secret was. And LA Times, man, they were a huge operation at one time. They were breaking the news, and people didn't understand how I was doing it. I can admit it now. So many years after, LA Times was my source, and I covered the tsunami as it was happening. I got news of the earthquake. I finished up with my client. Actually, no, my client who was there that night, we both went to the living room to watch what was going on, and we were just blown away. Or I had a TV in the office. But that was absolutely crazy doing that. We also did that Saturday following when the nuclear reactors blew up. I forget which reactor, and we were live doing that coverage. That was one of the more frightening episodes I've ever done in my life. And it was real. Big Dog, you were there for that one, weren't you? When we did the nuclear reactor on Saturday night?
Yep, I was still living in East LA,
As a matter of
and
fact, yeah, you were.
I was on my computer. I jumped in probably about a half hour after you started,
Yes, because that
and
was,
started. Yeah, and you guys were reporting, and I was trying to get all the reports I could.
yeah. But remember, I sent a text message to everyone. Holy crap. What? I've never asked you, what was your reaction when I did that? When I sent a text message, we're going live, nuclear reactor explosion in Japan. What were you thinking? I've never asked you this.
You're not gonna like my answer.
It's all right, man. Hey, you are the big dog.
I got the report. I went like, oh shit, something happened in Japan. Okay, I'm gonna go help Roger out.
Oh, okay.
That was it.
Oh,
I
well, that
wasn't
was
like
serious.
I wasn't like, oh my god, the world's gonna end. No, I was just like, okay,
Yeah,
time to
well,
get to work.
I didn't think it was going to end either, but it was Cliff who confirmed it. That night, and I will play a little bit of video on it. It's because I don't want to go back and hear my voice because I know I was frightened that night.
And then you also, I remember, I can't remember who it was. Of course, you'll remember because you have still trapped for memory. But you had that one person that was talking to the girls actually in
Ramey,
Japan because they were UFC fighters, and they were
Frank
training over
Ramirez.
there for a fight that was coming up. And we actually got to talk to a couple of them, or they interviewed a couple of them, or something or other like that.
Yeah, they called in.
Yep.
Ramey, Frank Ramirez arranged it. We also had Peter Villacorta, who was our technical advisor that
Yep.
night.
He was our technical advisor. Yes, explaining everything to us.
Oh my God, folks. I remember I was so nervous. I was trying to explain to people the difference between an open and a closed loop. I know it's funny, an open loop and a closed. Yeah, anyway, look it up. It's how you cool a nuclear reactor. And depending on how it was, my point was, oh my God, is water already going out into the ocean, or is it a closed loop? I remember I was losing myself and I said, Peter, can you please explain to the audience? And Peter was driving down the Pacific Coast Highway in Orange County as he was calling in, which was crazy. I mean, Ramey was in Ohio. You were in East LA. I was in Fontana.
No, Kentucky.
And yeah. And I forget who. Oh, Cliff was in New York. Yeah, I'm gonna go to that episode soon. It's crazy. And then of course we had Osama bin Laden on May 1st, 2011. We also broke that news. And I don't know where it is on the episode, but when the newsroom did its episode on HBO, I remember I invited everyone. I said, you guys have to go watch the newsroom. I think it encapsulated our experience of that night. But we called it. We called it before any other news media station. We said SEAL Team 6 has taken out Osama bin Laden. And for those of you that will remember that were listening to us in 2011, we had our first confirmation. And this is why it would anger me when people say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You're wrong. Remember, Peter, from the very
Mm-hmm.
get-go, we had 2 confirmations. We had to have 2 on every story that we did. We still, in effect, still do today. If we don't have a confirmation, what do we say? Allegedly. Or opinion piece, whatever. But, folks, I'm going to go back to it. Forgive me. This is the November 8th episode of Sports Talk with the Guys.
So until all 3 pass their physicals, none of the 3 are allowed to play yet. We're hoping to have that cleared up, and I believe he did play last night for the first time.
That was the Sports Talk with the Guys show.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I thought I said, let's go back to Sports Talk with the Guys. I did not
no,
say that.
I don't know. We don't need to hear that. I'm tired. We're tired of that.
Oh, Big Dog doesn't like his voice. Gee, Big Dog, are you going to go back and listen?
Actually, it's not that I don't know. Trust me, I've had to go back and listen to our shows because of the football predictions when they get erased or get wrong or something. So I have to go back and listen. So I listen. I just don't like the fact that I sound.
Rude, LOL.
There were so many and that kind of the pause where I couldn't get it out. So just like now, I'm more. I think back then you could hear the nervousness in my voice, whereas now if I do the or the it's just because I'm searching for something, but I'm not nervous about it. The confidence wasn't there yet.
That's interesting.
That's what I hear. I don't mind hearing my voice. I've heard my voice plenty of times. I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
Well, it's going to take me a few moments to find those episodes. I'm going to go to them right now. And I just don't have all the notes.
Rude?
Big dog.
How was I rude? Who was rude?
I think she was either it was you or she was
Or
directing
me?
me. I think it was directed at you.
I don't know what I said that was rude though.
Where I don't think you wanted to listen to your stuff.
Oh, myself? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. No, it's not that I don't mind listening to myself. Like I said, those early shows, for me, I can hear the nervousness in the voice. Maybe you guys can't pick up on it, or if you do, it's fine. But for me, I can hear it. I can hear the uncertainty in my voice.
And we were all starting back then. I don't know if Almighty remembers how we made contact. And speaking on the anniversary program, we can talk about it. He was the Almighty Sports Show. I saw it ASS, episode number, whatever. I'm like, oh, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, Roger, you jumped his ass on his sports show. Excuse me.
Yeah, you should hear me doing interviews. LOL. Well, there's rumors that we are, so we'll see. I remember on July 7th, 2010, I did the earthquake coverage, live earthquake coverage during the middle of the day. I remember that. I'm almost there, folks, to 2011, to those particular episodes, so I ask you to bear with me. It's taking me a little while to get there because it's not as easy doing this, but man, I look back and I see all these different guests. It's just absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy.
While he's searching, Tanya, how was your vacation? I believe you're back now. So was it enjoyable? Because it sure looked like it was enjoyable from your pictures. You both look like you had the greatest time, which was awesome.
Hopefully she'll be able to comment right now. Playmate Devin DeVasquez joined us. I remember that. That one was a lot of fun. I believe I'm almost there to that episode.
I
know we did a disaster preparation episode. I'm sorry, Peter, I cut you off.
Oh no, she had commented fan freaking tastic on her vacation. So
okay, I'm not going to do the earthquake coverage itself, because I have that on March 10th. We went at 11 p.m. I remember it was so late. 8.8 earthquake strikes Sendai, Japan. And then we did another one on the 11th. That was Friday. And of course, we did the one on Saturday. Nuclear event in Japan. Breaking news.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes. Folks, I'm going to go to it right now. I hope I have it. Let me see if I can set up the screen to make sure. And here it is. Is that the 144 seconds? Yeah.
Hey, Cowtown Girl, what's up?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are coming to you live from Fontana, California, which is a worldwide broadcast. We are breaking news right now. I don't know if you've been catching it on MSNBC, Fox News, CNN, Yahoo, everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. The worst case scenario is happening as we speak, at least at one nuclear facility, maybe two.
Reactor number 1 and reactor number 3.
Reactor number 1 and reactor number 3. We're going to ask you to bear with us. We have our whole team live right now.
That was my
cousin. We're making this happen.
Sturgeon.
Of course, I'm the Admiral, and hosting the program, getting it all ready to go, is the man over in New York, Zeke. How you doing, Zeke?
Pretty good, although this is pretty rock my world, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, this has definitely rocked our world. We found out about this at about 7:10, 7:15, and we've been trying to make this happen right now, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to go over all the news that we have right now. We apologize. We're not in studio. We're at a live facility, so we're going to have background noise, and I do apologize for that. I'd love to say it's our entire staff working, but it's not. The chat room is filling up, and of course, right next to me, I have my compatriot, my cousin.
My name's Sergio. I just want to say that I've been reading all this, and it's unbelievable. I can't believe it. I mean, they're saying that so much things being released into the environment, and it has radiation. They're saying it's not harmful, but come on. You know, we know the truth. That's what's going to give people cancer. Why would they be moving more than 180,000 people?
See, that's the thing. The original evacuation order wasn't for that many. They were looking at about 15,000, but now they've moved how many?
180,000.
180,000 people have been evacuated from the area. And the first report that came in were Japanese sources, or no, the Japanese military has reported that a partial meltdown is in progress.
Inside reactor number 1.
Inside reactor number 1. So I got to tell you, this is not disheartening. This is frightening news. And just before we went live, there was another report that it's also something is going on at a second nuclear facility.
Yeah.
So we're going to go over all the notes that we have right now.
That turned out to be incorrect. And I'm glad I made that we were receiving reports, unconfirmed. But listening to this again, you can hear the terror, the fright in our voices. I mean, it's just, oh my God. Sorry.
Now, we have numerous callers coming in the switchboard. We'll go to you in a moment. If you want to be on the program, help us out, guys. Go to your laptops and find out what is going on with us, because we are at msnbc.com. And if you head on over to msnbc.com, the report is partial meltdown at second reactor reported as Japan's crisis grows. There is overhead satellite imagery that shows the discharge, or not necessarily the discharge, but the actual explosion itself, with all the, not the coolant, but the steam or the smoke exiting. It is there at msnbc.com. Those are live images. So for them to say that it's not dangerous, I'm not here to spread rumors, but that's huge. Yeah. The images are unreal. And I'm going to head on over to the chat room real quick. And I want to see who's in there right now. I do apologize.
I just want to jump in. The authorities were planning to distribute iodine, which helps protect against thyroid cancer.
That, as a matter of fact, that's right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have numerous guests in the chat room, Laker fans, sports geeks as well. If you guys want to call in and talk about this, give us a call. Zeke, extended, baby. Just go beyond 15 minutes. We've got quite a few people in here.
Oh, so, right.
Again, we're going to be going over all the news. We have.
I don't know if you understood what I told Zeke at that moment. We had scheduled an episode for, I believe, 30 minutes, and we didn't know. And it was at that moment where I did not have access to a good computer. I was on wireless, and it was back in 2011. It just did not work. And the house was full of like 50 people all on their phones. I was shocked we were able to get a message out. But I told Zeke, dude, we're not doing 30 minutes. Extend it. We're going over. And at that time, we were able to do 3 hours live. We didn't do 3 hours, but we did. And this is the first time I actually hear this episode again. And you heard Ramey, Sports Geeks, was in the chat room. Peter was also in the chat room, Big Dog. And they eventually did join us live.
Reports that are coming in now, we have audio and video of what has been going over in the loudspeakers in the Japanese area, correct? We're going to see if we can get that to go in a moment. Zeke, based on what you've read, you've been able to pull up some information from Wikipedia as to the type of event that is taking place. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, in the last 24 hours, there were 2 explosions at 2 facilities, and at one of them they reported that the protective dome had exploded and collapsed, which just left the shell covering the nuclear reactor. What they said was it was a release of hydrogen gas. So we're going to find out exactly what the hydrogen gas is, and we're going to find out what the effect is.
No, they also said that they were starting to pump seawater into the reactor to try to cool it, and that authorities released steam to try to get some of that hot, all that nuclear reactor like safely out. But to me, I think that was part of the explosion, and all that steam that is escaping was the cause of the explosion.
Yeah, and before we go to Zeke, I don't know if we're going to be able to get anywhere close to the understanding of what type of nuclear reactor it is. Because for those of you that know, there are two types of nuclear reactors. There are closed nuclear reactors and loop nuclear reactors. And remember, you have the water that cools the reactor on the inside on a loop reactor, and it's fed water from the outside. We don't know if it was that type of a system or if it was a straight through where the water comes directly from an outside source into the reactor and out. We don't know what type of one it is, but maybe we'll be able to get the details. If you guys are in the chat room, you can help us out with that. Register at blogtalkradio.com, take on a persona, and join us in the chat room. This is huge, ladies and gentlemen. To repeat, there has been a nuclear event in Japan. There has been a partial meltdown of a nuclear reactor, at least one, possibly two. Zeke, we've already got stuff going on in the chat room. You want to go over that real quick?
Well, I have something right here from Mark Hibbs, Senior Associate at the Nuclear Policy Program for the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. It says they are working furiously to find a solution to cool the core. And this afternoon in Europe, we heard that they had begun to inject seawater into the core. That is an indication of how serious the problem is and how the Japanese had to resort to unusual and improvised solutions to cool the reactor core.
Folks, I'm having a flashback. This is what we did for the first 3 to 4 years when we were on air. Remember that, Big Dog?
Yep.
This is what NDB Media was. Before the Osama bin Laden incident on May 1st, we were breaking news regularly. And what I meant by breaking news is sometimes we were on before any other media network. Our numbers were through the roof. We had people tuning into us. And I mean, it was a thrill to be playing that aspect of it. But shortly after Osama bin Laden, the news cycle went to 24 hours. And there was 10 of us, Peter?
Oh, yeah.
That's a break room at a news organization, right? Almighty. I mean, that's nothing, man.
Yeah.
We were out of it shortly thereafter. I mean, we would get a few ever since then, but I gave up because it became the 24-hour news cycle. But there's quite a bit more. I didn't think I would be doing this tonight. I actually didn't even know what I was going to be doing tonight. Scorekeeper's always prepared for this. So I want to go to another episode, and it is again, oh man, you know what, let me see if I can back up real quick, if I can get to that same page. Nope, it takes me back to the I've got to find it again. But anyway, some of your thoughts, gentlemen, about you guys being on Blog Talk Radio, because it's not about me, it's not about NDB Media, it's about all of us being on. Hi, Husker. Thanks for joining me, Husker. Come on in. That's the female cat that we have, the one that fit in my palm. That little thing, and now she's a big size cat.
Oh, how cute.
Yeah, thank you. Jay says, going through memory lane. # priceless. We were, Peter? We were a first-rate news outfit.
Yes, we were.
We were just doing it, man. And it was unreal. Elizabeth shares that as a nurse, she remembers the Cipro antibiotic sales went nuts here in California because Cipro was thought to combat radiation sickness. Yeah. Later on in that episode, I talked about what would happen to the West Coast of the United States, what would happen to the Pacific Ocean. And unfortunately, I got it right. And I didn't want to be right, but when you get a lot of nuclear stuff in the air and in the water, it's got to go somewhere. So, but Zeke, when did you start on Blog Talk Radio? What brought you over to us? How did that happen? How did this marriage happen? Cliff. Or no, shit, I called him Zeke, didn't I? And then
Yeah,
I
that's
called him
all. I
Cliff.
was like, Zeke's not here. What are you talking
Almighty!
about?
All right, so I mistook him for
Oh,
Almighty. Man, the mosquitoes are eating me alive already. I apologize. Darn it. What brought you over to us, Almighty?
I'm not quite sure.
I know it just happened.
Well, when I was on Blog Talk Radio, I would always do the search for other sports shows. So I don't know who found who first. All I know is that I was
so
listening to a
so you
few.
happened upon two idiots talking shit, huh?
I might have, but that was my show at the time. There were three of us at the time, but sometime. But I don't know. I was listening to that. I was also listening to. That's how I got you know uh, Couch Potato when he was on Blog
Mm.
Talk. So I'd chat with him in the chat room when his show was on, and I don't. I didn't know he was a Cardinal fan. I didn't think he was too happy when I told him Derek Anderson sucked after they signed him. But uh, people thought Derek Anderson was bad because he was in Cleveland. No, he was bad because he was bad. I mean, I watched him play for a season after their. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So that was him. There was another show that I was listening to, and sometimes I would join their show, and then somehow we met up, Roger, and we ended up in each other's chat rooms a few times, and that was probably back in what 9 or 10.
Was
I
it
think we
really
started
that
in.
early?
That's why I think we started at the beginning of the 2009 football season, because I know
Wow.
we made our predictions of how the divisions would finish out, and then we would make our weekly picks thereafter, like everybody, like everybody, like the rest of everybody. And then sometimes I would just come on when things were breaking, like you did. After a sports thing coming on, news would come on. I would start. I would start a show, and I became first aware of Roger when I was taught when Ohio State got busted for their players trading jerseys for tattoos,
Oh
and
yeah.
that led to Trestles resigning. And I didn't see the problem with them bartering; they weren't taking cash. And that's when I first came up with the NCAA, and I called them the Nazi Communist Athletic Association. And at that time, I think Roger liked that term, but
Oh, I love it today.
because I couldn't see the problem because they were bartering. There's sports stuff, not cash, and bartering is the oldest form of exchange. So it's just to me it was like the NCAA being as they are today, a group of people, multimillionaires with sticks up their ass. So I mean, they're slowly being forced to make concessions when it comes to players getting paid for their likenesses at least. I don't know if they should be paid to play football, but they shouldn't have to give up their identity just to promote a sport that's already making billions of dollars every year. But that being said, because this is at the sports show, but I think that's how we came aware of each other. It was on Blog Talk, as you know. We were both hammering it away with our sports shows, and we had our show wasn't that bad, and everybody else's was pretty cool. That's how I found you, because I was probably searching for other like-minded people because I wanted to see what they were talking about, see how, and plus I was trying, okay, how do they do in their show? What can I steal? And then I found out, well, these people are pretty good, and I don't know if I could ever match it, but
Oh please.
in our little way, we tried, and we did our show. But that's how I think about. But like I said, like you said, we met at Blog Talk Radio, and the rest is history.
Yes, definitely.
Raj,
Yeah,
is Blog Talk almost done? I
there's a
know they're
lot of
still
stuff.
around, but
They're still around, but yeah, they're not the leading element anymore, because everyone can do their own type of video, their own blog, whatever. The audio blog is kind of gone.
yeah.
Had they continued Blog Talk Radio, and if they would have continued with the video, which I don't know if you guys remember, but in 2008, you could see a host. The host could have a camera on him, but it was so delayed connections. There were issues. But Blog Talk Radio is like Polaroid and Xerox. Xerox invented the mouse, didn't know what to do with it, and Polaroid invented the digital camera and kept it. Blog Talk Radio invented video on their blogs. I mean, it's still there. It's one of the better ones to use, but people don't do that anymore. They do their own videos now. As a matter of fact, if we're one of the last ones that still do live interviews, live programs. Everyone else edits. Everyone else is professional. So that's why we laughed when you said what you did, Almighty. We're like, yeah, we're just here. And it was a
Yeah.
decision that we made. Well, I can't say we. I don't think anyone had a choice. It's a decision I made from the very get-go. This is no. The good with the bad. It makes it real.
Well, yeah, you wanted to go live that way. Plus, when you're with other people, you can just chat and you don't have to worry. Plus, I didn't want to mess with. But Blog Talk, well, Blog Talk's not cheap anyway anymore. I mean, right now. I mean, to me, it's not cheap. And plus, when you did the free version, you got more than a half hour. And if you did join, it wasn't that expensive. But now, why would you want to pay for something that you can do for free on YouTube or here on StreamYard? You know what I mean?
Well, I know I'm going to regret leaving Blog Talk Radio because I'm still grandfathered in. And I'm grandfathered in. I can still do things which other people cannot do, even at the $99 rate. You have to pay $99 monthly to do a 1 hour program per day. That's it. It's the most you can do on Blog Talk Radio per day at $99. I'm paying $39 and I can do 2 3-hour live programs. And if you remember, there's the go over, or what we used to call extra innings or overtime. You could basically do a 4-hour episode, which we did often, right, Big Dog?
Oh yeah.
And that was some cool stuff because the audience had to tune in for that. They had to download that, which was kind of neat, and you still can. So right now, and sadly, folks, I'm done with Blog Talk Radio. The last payment I will make to Blog Talk Radio will be on November 6th. So I'm going to have Blog Talk Radio through December 6th, and that's it. Because once Dan Schlossberg is done at the end of November, his last episode will probably be November 16th. And then he finishes the year on hiatus. Once that's done, I'm cutting it. I'm going to announce that if someone wants to, I don't know, man. I think I'm going to download all the episodes. But my God, there's 3,157 episodes on
How many
NDB
gigs is
Media.
it? Does it tell you how many gigs it is?
No, because these are just sound files anyway, so it's not that much. But I have to download them individually. I can't download them all, like download all.
Oh,
I have to go
yeah.
in there and do all. So I'm going to be doing that over the next few weeks and months. But I did find the other episode. This is what we did the week prior to Osama bin Laden, folks. Check this out. We did a program on April 26th, the president and his birth certificate. Remember that?
Oh, geez, yeah.
On April 27th, Shy's back. Shy's eye candy for the ladies. She was shocked that I joined her, and I was all right with that. And she was as well. And then Shy, or Rosalind, we woke up at 3 a.m. to cover the royal wedding of William and Catherine. I remember that. There's a sound file that says Shy and I woke up, and Zeke bastardized it. And it was kind of funny. And I was all right with that. Poor Shy. She's the one that had to deal with the embarrassment. But here's the episode on May 1st. We went live at 7:30 p.m.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening.
And let me see if I can get to it now. Forgive me. Here it is. This episode went 2 hours and 22 seconds. We're not going to do that now.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to a special edition of NDB Media. Tonight we have breaking news. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone is going live. Apparently CNN is reporting that the president will be going live within the next 10 minutes or so. They're getting their ducks lined up. The issue is of national security, and it looks like it's going to be near 7:40 in the afternoon. Once again, this is a rarity when it happens, but something big is going on. There's an incredible amount of speculation right now. The only thing that is confirmed is the issue is on national security. So if you do hear CNN on in the background, we do apologize. We're trying to get our act together here as well. We decided to go live, literally minutes to spare. We're still getting the computers up and going right now. And at this point, we can only speculate. There's a lot of chatter going on Facebook that possibly this is related to it. Well, as a matter of fact, it is being reported right now that it has nothing to do with Libya. So it is a national security issue. It could be a terrorist event that.
The reason why I said that, folks, is for those that know in the media, at a certain hour on a Sunday night, the White House will inform the media saying, okay, we're going dark. We're done. Nothing else. You guys can go home, rest. You can keep your one person in the White House press room, whatever. We're done for the day. And it's a traditional thing. I think Tanya, if she's still with us, she could clarify on that. But you're done. I've known of that. So I was watching Monday Night Baseball on ESPN, and I was kind of falling asleep a little bit. I don't know who was on, but I got the proverbial text message. The Los Angeles Times said the president will address the nation later this hour. The first thoughts that went through my mind, oh my God, it's Sunday night. What happened? Oh, thank you, Tanya. About the media blackout that happens after a certain hour on Sunday night. The White House has a policy, I believe, that they tell the media every Sunday, okay, we're done. Don't expect anything else. We're good. Maybe Tanya could go ahead and clarify that if she's able to join us, or if she can explain in the chat room. Well, it's 7 o'clock at night on a Sunday night, and I get a text message, president's about to go live. Oh my God. And remember, on Blog Talk Radio, you could only start at the half-hour marks. Remember that, Almighty?
Yeah.
You couldn't go live instantly. It was either 7 or 7:30 or 8, and we struggled to go live at 7:30, and we did.
You had to set the time you wanted to go on air. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you. Yeah. And I think the soonest you could do, like half hour or 15-minute increments was the best you could do.
I don't recall the 15-minute increments until later, but yes.
I don't know. That was a long time ago. I thought maybe maybe you're right. Maybe it was just a half hour, but anyway, you just couldn't click a button like you can now and go live. You had to wait for whatever.
You can go live on Blog Talk Radio now whenever you want. It's available, but at one time you couldn't do it. You had to hit the mark.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Back in the day, you couldn't just go live. You had to do, like you said, a half hour. So if it was like 7:05, you'd have to wait till 7:30 to go live. So you'd sit there. So you have to wait around for 25 minutes to get your ass on, And if you were anxious to get on the news, like you probably were, excruciating for you to wait.
Yeah. Thank you, Tanya. Yeah, it's something that I read that they'll let the press know that you shouldn't expect anything else on Sunday night. So when I get news that the president's speaking on a Sunday night, late at night, my first thought was, oh my God, what's happening? This is big. And that's why you hear me say a few times, this is national security. None of us had a clue yet as to what it was. The speculation at first was Libya. As you know, the Arab Spring was going on that year. It was also the year that I did an episode saying, contrary to public opinion, this dictator has not been toppled. Remember that, big dog? That was so funny. How the dictators, all the tin pot dictators in the Middle East were going down, and someone said, maybe our dictator, there was talk amongst the hosts. Maybe we should remove our dictator. And I did the famous William Halsey speech. Contrary to all news reporting, the benevolent dictator is still in charge. That was funny. A lot of people didn't get that joke, but it was funny. Where I had to I had to issue a report that this dictator, me, was still alive and well. That was funny, though. That was a lot of fun. So there's a little bit more on this episode.
Was prevented, or something that's going to happen, or, as speculation has been really picking up now, somewhere in Afghanistan or Pakistan. So it remains to be seen. We're going to ask you to bear with us right now. As soon as we get it, we're going to have it. We're going to get the chat room going in just a moment. Again, we ask you to bear with us. Let's go to Wolf Blitzer.
Oh.
Something else. Now, what that could be, whether it involves.
So you know what I did, right?
In the Middle East, whether it involves
I took the phone directly to the TV.
It remains unclear. And as I say, I have my suspicions. I suspect I know what's going on, but I don't want to speculate at this point until I'm 100% sure, because it certainly is not something we want to do. So we'll know soon enough, probably within the next 10 or 15 minutes, once the president makes this dramatic announcement. There are pool cameras, network pool.
Now, I need you guys to remember that he was going to go live at about 7:40. He didn't go live till about 8:30 our time. But in this episode, we did make the announcement. And I'm not going to have you guys go through it, but it is there. Raimi and I were losing our minds, Frank Ramirez, because we had that SEAL Team 6 had taken out Osama bin Laden. And Raimi and I are hyperventilating. He's in Ohio, I'm here. And we're like, oh my God, is this possible? Is it real? And we didn't say anything. And we're still doing the program. We're talking about stuff. We never alluded to it either. We never said, hey, we think that. Nope, we never said it. And I remember sitting at my desk, and Raimi sent me a text message. I got a confirmation from the Aviation Brigade on such and such. SEAL Team 6 took out Osama bin Laden. I read that. My heart stopped. And Raimi he was on air with me. Remember this. So he was equal footing to me. And I remember, to me, professionally and personally, he did the work. He got it. And I remember saying something to the effect, okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do a quick recap. It's top of the hour, blah, 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 this. Raimi, what do you have? I could have taken it. I could have said it. I didn't. He effectively beat me to the second confirmation, but it wasn't that way. It wasn't that reason. I turned it over to him because I trusted him. I knew him, and he got the second confirmation. And Raimi announced, ladies and gentlemen, SEAL Team 6 has taken out Osama bin Laden. And then we waited like 30 minutes later, and then the president comes out and says, we got him. No, actually, that was the governor when they got Saddam Hussein. I am pleased to report to the American public that we have eliminated Osama bin Laden. I remember that vividly. Were you with us that night, Peter, on that Sunday night?
I think I was. I think so. I think I was. Yes.
Good day, Rebels. Hi, Aisha. I know it's early morning for you, and I thank you for spending it with us. We are celebrating a little bit. Wow, we're an hour and 9 minutes in already. I'm shocked. We are replaying episodes or portions of. I'm going to zoom up to the 1 hour, 28-minute mark on that same episode of May 1st, 2011, and see what I have.
That was not an American that said, let's go get him. I was stunned by that when he said that. Make no bones about it.
Yeah, we already know.
It was very clear. He gave the order and he said, let's go get him. Wow. When they had it confirmed where he was, hey, guys, think about it. Didn't that send a chill down your spine?
That
Wow.
was fantastic.
It sent it down my spine. That told the world what you just said, Mark. It don't matter what rat hole, foxhole, a-hole you hide in, we're going to get you. Wow. And Ramey, I'm going to go to you. Go ahead. Well, if you want to answer Mark's question and just carry the conversation a bit further.
No, it's just, I'm kind of just watching and everything, and I'm watching everybody's Twitters and stuff, and it's just, I'm just wild, ecstatic. I really can't say much, man, because I've been to the trenches, I've been in the wars.
Yes.
I defeated terrorism. I defeated a terrorist out in Persian Gulf. And I'm just glad we got this one, and I'm glad we got the other one too. And it's gonna be a tough time for me, and I'm gonna work through it. And I just hope that we still, again, to all the people in the armed forces, congratulations, great job. We did it, and we got it done, and we're gonna go from there.
As a matter of fact, that was Mark was Mark B. Lee, and he joined us. And I remember near the very end of the episode, I told everyone who was live with us, I said, look around where you are. Take a moment, slow down, stop. Pay attention. Think about right now where you are. Take a quick look. See the things that are in front of you, what's in your hand. Because you will remember this day for the rest of your life. Your future self will return here. And you will remember this. Savor it. Remember it, because you will always return to this day. And you will always think about this moment. And right now is your opportunity to talk to your future self. And I was shocked. All the co-hosts went silent at that moment. And they did. They did as I asked. And I remember that's how I ended it. And there was video of everyone gathering outside the White House. Gosh. I remember saying I wanted to be there. And then Roz says, I'm not going to celebrate the death of anyone, so I can't partake in this. I said, no, Roz, you're right. But this one individual had to go. Not celebrating. This man had his ticket punched. He had to go. I don't know what your thoughts were on that, or are, gentlemen. Peter?
Oh, I had no problem celebrating it.
Almighty. I'm almost like worried on that one.
I didn't either. I mean, it took us long enough, but it was finally over at that point, even though he would still spend 9 more years fighting. But it was a momentous occasion because we've been hunting that dude for 10 years. And he thought he could get away with what he did to America, telling his people that all they had to do was bomb us and we go hide and we'd be the ones hiding in caves. But turned out he was wrong, and it turned out he was the one hiding in caves. And the mission was accomplished finally. I mean, Bush got ahead of himself, but that was Bush for you. But he was trying to drum up support and keep America going. So I mean, Bush did his part, kinda. And so I know I'm rambling on, but it was a momentous occasion, and we did the proper funeral rites for that religion, so they couldn't get pissed at us anymore.
Yeah.
But we had to take him out. I mean, we've been hunting for him, and you just can't. And plus, all the lives he's taken. And I did, to me, he was dead and it was over. He might didn't throw a party, but I wasn't sad.
I wasn't sad. No doubt about that. Yeah, you're right. I definitely was not sad over that.
So, I mean, so what about you, Roger? You probably was glad it was over, as you said.
I remember that day vividly still. And I do. And I'm glad I said what I did, because I did memorize everything around me. And he had to go. He had to go. And they got him. Oh my God, they got him. there's a coworker that told me once some years ago. He said, sometimes there are some people that they do such stuff that are just so bad that no, they can't play with us anymore. You got to rip up their ticket and say, you can't play with us. And he meant that in every which way. He was in the Air Force. He was over there. He did his duty as well. If anyone has a right to say anything like that, I think it would be him. And I've always kept that line. I've bastardized it, but his thing was, nah, Raj, that so-and-so did whatever they did. They can't play with us anymore. They don't have the right to live amongst humanity. And I believe he was one of them. His ticket was overdue. And
way overdue.
Yeah. Yeah, way overdue. So yes. Like I said, I'm not celebrating, but yeah, he had to go. I backed it up a little bit. I'm at the 1 minute 40 mark. I want to see what it says.
Geeks in the chat room. And ladies and gentlemen, before Shy and before the Big Dog and before Mark joined us, Ramey was the first one that told us. As I said, he is our military advisor correspondent with us here at NDB Media. He's the first one that postulated and said, while it was still being reported that it was a drone strike, he said that there were special forces units that we'll probably never know of, the ones that took them out, and it'll be interesting to see the story that would be given out, right, Ramey? That's exactly what you said, or I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, exactly. We just don't know. And, hopefully we may meet this guy. Even the person that caught, Saddam Hussein, we didn't know about who he was for a couple months. So, again, we're just going to, it's just one of those things. We're just going to have to wait and find out. And if we're actually going to meet the trigger man and go from there, hopefully we get to see who he is.
Yeah, you know what? I think we are going to see the trigger man. And I'm going to ask you to bear with me a moment. I'm going to retire to my office, to my studio, because my wife did tell me that my daughters are going to bed. My older daughter, when she saw the news, this is my special daughter, my older one. She looked at the news and read it, said Osama bin Laden is dead. She looked at me and she gave me almost like a fist pump. It was a very simple, we got him. And I was stunned by that.
I forgot.
There was no real joy. She just looked at me, closed her hand with a fist, and said, we got him. And she said, good night, Dad. Like, wow. I can only imagine what my 17-year-old's going to dream tonight. Yes, I was stunned by that, ladies and gentlemen. I was just absolutely stunned. My youngest still doesn't know, so we'll see. It's 9:12 p.m. Pacific time over here on Sunday night, May 1st. And I think, Mark, you are speaking to us due to a transverse temporal incursion, right? You're already May 2nd.
Yes,
actually, you're right. Yes, we are. Both Shy and I are actually, and it's really interesting because when 911 started, it happened at basically 9 o'clock in the morning, and you guys over there on your side of the world, Roger, were basically just rolling out of bed at the time that I was up eating breakfast and watching the news.
Yeah, well, as a matter of fact, it's true. And actually, Zeke is also East Coast. Ramey, are you also East Coast time?
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
So all of you are tomorrow, and the Big Dog and I over here in Los Angeles are behind you guys. Yep. Welcome to the modern day NDB Media Reporting, ladies and gentlemen. That's how we do it. The world headquarters is behind.
I was just looking at Abbottabad.
That's clear.
And it's way inside Pakistan, closer to India than Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, I think, either north or northeast of Islamabad, right?
You can hear us typing as we're doing it because the mics were so strong. But yeah, folks, this is only the second. Actually, this is the first time I hear the episode. I've never heard it. My voice is annoying. It's annoying now. I don't know how you can listen to it the first time. So when people tell me, hey, Raj, when you go back and listen, I say, are you out of your mind? I don't do that. That's not my game, almighty. Did you go back and listen to your episodes?
No.
Oh, I think that's what we have in common then.
I can't do it. I can't even rewatch the ones we do now. I mean, not because everybody else. I just don't like listening to myself. I mean, No one does, I guess. I think that's one of the things I've read, that no one likes listening to themselves, but I would not. But during Blog Talk Radio, I would do it and be done with it.
Yeah. Everyone would tell me, "Hey, Rod, you gonna go back and fix it?" No. You're gonna go back and listen? No. Why? But don't you want to hear your mistakes? Oh, I know what I'm doing. I,
Yeah.
and not that I know what I'm doing and I don't make mistakes. Like, no, I know what I'm doing. I'm writing them down as I go along because I
Well,
evaluate and analyze.
well, to me, it was live, and if you made a mistake, well, then it was live. It's
Oh, and trust me, the co-host would tell you. And folks, here's a tiny bit of this is interesting. I showed them to the people on Sports Talk with the guys. I have them. This is it. Check it out. When people were in studio with me, remember, we're live on radio and we're watching the feed from Blog Talk Radio. We're watching the chat room. We have our notes, we have news. So we would have to, as Big Dog or whoever was with me, they would sit in front of me. We would have to communicate. And I would hold up a card or they would hold up their card. They're like, "Hey, stupid. This is hey, stupid." There's a chat room question. Or news alert. This is our breaking news that we did in studio where we told someone, "Hey, we got a story, we got a news alert." And then co-host comment or chat room comment. It's like, pay attention, there's a comment in there. And then again, when we're watching, I would inform them, "Hey, we lost a host or a host is leaving, so heads up." And then we had co-host arrival. These are on 3x5.5. Commercial break. It's like, we got to take a break, man. And then I also had station identification, which I would tell, not unlike when I ask Almighty to please remind the audience to, like, subscribe, and all that stuff. But I would do the station identification at least once an hour. But I would ask my co-host to do it, and I would signal them. And then I had this time remaining in the episode. So what I would do is I would signal them by saying, "We have 30 seconds." See how you can still see the seconds over on the left, and or whatever. I forget what I would do. Actually, I think I would do it like this. I would point to it here and say, "We've got 10 minutes left," or whatever, or 30 or 60. It's like, let's get ready, let's wrap it up. And then we also had new caller. And then we had the last one, which was we have a new guest in the chat room, which was cool. And that's how we would communicate. And I still have these 3.5 by 3x5s. Every episode had a plan sheet. There it is. All the stuff we'd go over and line paper on the backside. And that's how we would do it. This one is for Sports Talk with the guys. It had the host information. I would have our call-in number, the website, our Facebook sites, Twitter, the date, and it would be good evening, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of NDB Media Sports Talk with the guys, home of the Monday morning quarterbacks on Saturday. Actually, I messed up. It was good morning, but that was from the Monday Night in America page, which I didn't correct. Bonehead. Hide your kids. Hide your little pussycats. We're on the prowl, and no one is safe while we troll the digital airwaves. We kill brain cells, and as such, we are the purveyors of the zombie apocalypse. You have been warned. And then I had a few ticklers down here to go over the weather, the history. Then we had a community news section, and then we would say what we were doing up next. That was our program notes or cheat sheet. Thank you, Tanya. Yeah, we would do all that stuff, folks. And again, hi, Aisha and Elizabeth. Wow. It's crazy, man. We've been doing this for a long, long time. Love you a long time. Right? There, Almighty?
Okay.
I would do I would try to do accents and voices. And I remember what I thought was one of the funnier ones. I would talk about our friend Forrest. You all know who he is, Forrest Gump. And I would do the voice. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Or stupid is as stupid does. I used to do those a long time ago. I'm way out of practice. Well, one time we were remembering the movie. As you know, Forrest Gump went to Vietnam. And he commented that they always went on these long walks and they're always looking for Charlie. Well, one day we had a Charlie call in, or it was someone that we knew, and I put a $5 bounty. We did on Sports Talk with the Guys for the longest time. He said, ladies and gentlemen, you know our friend Forrest. He went to Vietnam, spent a lot of time out there, and he was always looking for Charlie. Well, we want to help out our friend Forrest. That if you can provide us with the birth certificate of a young man or, well, young girl born in Vietnam with first name Charlie, we'll give you a $5 Starbucks card. That was bad, dude. That was bad. We did that for years on Sports Talk with the Guys. And I told that to one of my coworkers, and he couldn't contain his laughter. He's like, Raj, my neighbor's kid is named Charlie. Dude, are they? Yes, they're from Vietnam. Like, no way, dude. I'm like, tell him to call in. Tell him to call in. And no, I don't know. Says, glad to see the madness hasn't decreased and the hole in the wall gang is still robbing people's brain cells. Anyway, this was a quick visit. I got to get ready for work. See ya. See you on Saturday. Thank you, Aisha. Yes. No, the brain cells were dead from the very beginning. And that's been our theme from day one. It's just something we kept. Did someone's door open? Oh, yeah. Someone's door opened. You're killing me. Come on over. She was there. She was there 15 years ago. That's my youngest. Hi, Gmo. What's up? Did you need me to mute? Did you want to tell me something? I'll take the charity. I'll definitely take the charity. All kidding aside, Mijo, we're doing an anniversary program. 15 years ago, we started. Wow. And you're 26. Yep. So I've been neglecting you since you were 9 years old. Oh, I wish you would have seen that. She's just like, yeah, whatever. That's my youngest. Wow. So, oh, she just got back from visiting her aunts right now. So, but damn, I heard the squeak of the door, and I'm like, dude, is that theme back? No, it turns out that it's Gmo. So, folks, we've done a lot of stuff. Big Dog was alluding to the Barry Bonds episode, and we told this on Sports Talk with the Guys recently. Did you know about this story, Almighty, that we did?
What about Barry Bonds?
Yeah.
Well, they have to be more specific than that when it comes to Barry Bonds.
When Barry Bonds was going through his steroids case in California, he was out of baseball at that point. And we knew we had been listened to, but I had seen the Yankees schedule upcoming. And I postulated on air to screw with the audience. And the Big Dog tells them much better than I do. Said, folks, the Yankees are looking to sign Barry Bonds on a West Coast contract. Over the next month and a half, the Yankees will be playing about 30 games on the West Coast because of interleague and all that stuff. And they're going to be spending a lot of time over here. So they can have Barry Bonds still play. He can be in court, and then he can make it to the games on the West Coast. And I postulated at the time, I said the Yankees are looking to sign Barry Bonds to like those NBA contracts, those 10-day contracts or whatever. But they were going to sign them for a set number of time. And I called it the West Coast contract. Big Dog and I were just talking out of our. Well, when ESPN picked up the story. God, it was hilarious when they were talking about Barry Bonds and looking to sign a West Coast contract. We're like, no way! I mean, we already knew because we had heard our comments being repeated to us almost word for word on ESPN, Fox Sports, and when CNN had Sports Illustrated. We would hear our arguments, the exact same arguments articulated. And we're like, that's when we were like, yeah, they're not that smart. If they have to take from us, they're not that smart. And we knew we had arrived. We knew people were listening to us. And it was crazy. And we were all right with it. And we knew what we were saying was being listened to. And that's crazy. That was then. There's a lot of people out there on the blogosphere now. We are but one voice of many.
Well, yeah, it's a bigger field now than it was back then.
Yeah.
I
And
think,
there are people that are doing really good stuff out there too.
well, I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying that there's a heck of a lot more traffic than there used to be. I mean, I don't know if you've seen that Progressive commercial where he's talking about, oh, there's a podcast about that. And there's a guy, he's just a guy and he's in an office and he keeps talking about, no matter what someone says, oh, there's a podcast about that, so, and he's right. I mean, no matter what subject you bring up, there's a podcast about it now. So, and there's a multitude. So, back then there was some chatter, but not as much as there is now. So, and plus, I don't know that they picked your up what you were saying, but never thought to check it, to fact check it.
Well, here's the thing. We already had broken stuff. As I mentioned, we had access, and what we said generally came to pass. So I gave an opinion. I was screwing around. I think it was around April. I don't even remember if it was an April Fool's joke, but we were screwing with people. That was the thing. It wasn't even meant to be serious. It was a joke from the very beginning because, oh yeah, Barry Bonds, Yankees are going to sign him to a West Coast contract. Big Dog was dying laughing. And we did it as a joke. Someone heard
the
that.
Yankees did nothing to correct it either.
Oh, Yankees didn't even know we exist. They still don't know that we exist.
Well, I'm just saying, if it made it to ESPN, what the Yankees said, well, no, we're not doing that.
They never comment on stories. Remember that. It's like, no.
No, okay, so they just let it go. They said, whatever. I got you. All right.
And I think people realized after a little while, like, where'd this come from? No one could confirm it anywhere. And it died real quick. But
still, it made the air. I mean, it made national, right?
Yep.
And you said it was even picked up by Fox? Or just ESPN?
I don't know if it was picked up by Fox, but I do know that on sports programs, it would irritate us, guys. We were doing sports, we're doing a story and articulating an argument, and then we'd hear it word for word repeated on the national networks. And we're like, yeah, they didn't make that up. We knew. We knew.
Well, I'm just saying it's. But then again, I guess that was probably the birth of not fact checking, just talking out of your ass like they do now. So.
Well, look. Oh my God! Am I the one responsible for
Maybe
that?
you did. Maybe you planted the seeds. Maybe you're the epicenter.
Oh Lord.
But no, it's been going. That's been going on for decades.
I'm the one that has to live with this now.
I mean, but no, you didn't. Oh no, that was going on with decades with National Enquirer.
Yeah, but it's crazy what they're doing now. It's just completely out of control.
But yeah, you're right. I mean,
it was fun. It was exciting, folks, being able to do that stuff. I mean, we're nobodies. We're still nobodies, but we knew people were listening to our commentary, and they still do. And it's amazing to us because every now and then we'll see a whisper and someone will make a point like, "Hey, no. You didn't come up with that. You're not that smart." And it is something that, hey, look, folks, we almost had a debate between Daryl Issa and the colonel that was running against him. I forget the colonel accepted the debate invite, and I forget, I think it was a Marine Corps colonel, and he was running against him. And we reached out to Issa, Daryl Issa here in San Diego, and yeah, he refused. Just flat out ignored us. But we were going to be running a national debate, and that one didn't come to pass. So yeah, we've done a few things over the years. But anyway, folks, taking you down memory lane. If you head over to the Blog Talk Radio page, you see on the main page, and I'm going to go to that one in a moment. It is amazing the people that we have been privileged to interview. And this is but a few. And I'm going to head on over to it right now. Other than the breaking news that it looks like the Writers Guild of America strike is to end Wednesday. Members are authorized to return to work. That's crazy.
So that's tomorrow?
Yeah. So I'm going to go to it real quick. Let's see. I'll do it this way. Look at just some of the people that we've interviewed, folks. Harold Perrineau, Andrea Gabriel, Jessica Nicole, Rekha Sharma, Michael Taylor, Mark Hildreth, Janina Gavankar, Star Wars fans should know that from Battlefront, Frank Cassini, Vaughn Armstrong, Enterprise, David Stern, author, Stephen Finley, Tom Draper, classmate and a Hollywood acting coach, Robert E. Wood, writer, Dr. Shlomo Shear from, I believe, USC or UCLA. I should know this. I apologize. Michael A. Martin, author. Aaron Douglas, that's the air boss on the Galactica. I forget his name. Eric Avari, Patrick McKenna, Peter David, Menina Fortunato, David Gerald, Lanaya Lee, Spice Williams Crosby, Chris M. Smith, Michael McConaughey, Suzanne Roquette, Phil Morris, W. Morgan Shepherd, who's passed away, Andy Frizzle, Mark Ormaner, Richard Hatch, also passed away, John Billingsley, Ronnie Cox, David Mack. Oh, I got Peter David twice. Oops. Peter David, Carmen Argenziano, Barbara Bain, Nick Tate, Denise Crosby, Alan Dean Foster, Diane Carey, Tucker Smallwood. I got Spice Williams again. Evan English, G. Day Tepnapa, Carlos Pedraza, Bobby Rice, Keith DeCandido, John Broughton, Neo FX, the Starship Excelsior crew, Star Trek The Romulan Wars, Leviathan, many, many more. That's a lot. And if you head over to our Facebook page, you see NDB Media, you see just some of the images of some of the people that we've interviewed. Oh, wait, is this? Oh, there it is. See all the photos, all these people. And there's other imagery that we have, but these are all the people that we've interviewed over the years. Not everyone. Look, there's Dean Devlin, recently passed Lieutenant Colonel retired Lieutenant Colonel Richard A. Searfoss, Alan Dean Foster, Barbara Bain, Jessica Nicole, Jonathan Frakes. Wow. There's Shy. There's the big dog. There's Zeke. There's me. Oh, look. There's Tanya. Just a few. Diana. Here's Tucker Smallwood. There's the gentleman from Battlestar Galactica, Harold Perrineau. Just a few, folks. Just a few people. and other programs. She is from a league of their own. She's the original Pepper Pear Davis. Yes, Tanya, that photo is so old, but it's still you. That's you, Tanya. From Raise Your Glass. There it is right there. Raise Your Glass. These are just a few. Tanya, is this Ralph Branca? I believe it is. But this is the lady that played baseball during World War II and wrote the song of the female baseball players. Robert Beltran from Voyager, Aaron Gray from Buck Rogers. There we are, folks. If you've been to Las Vegas, that is the Golden Gate Hotel. That is, and we're on the casino floor. That's a blackjack table, and we're doing the program. Isn't that crazy? That was unreal that day. We were on the casino floor doing our program.
Wow.
We're hoping to go back to Vegas early next year. We'll
Oh,
see.
yeah?
Yeah. Vic Mignana. I think you know who this is. He's been on with us a few times. And will be joining us in a bit. And look, there she is. Shy Rosalind. This is what she does as well. She's into arts and crafts. Really does a lot of stuff. It's incredible, folks. We're privileged to have been a part of it. We're privileged to have met everyone. Tanya says, haha, no, I was in college. These images are when we got the main page on Blog Talk Radio. And I remember I did an episode for the anniversary and I got picked. I was stunned. We were also picked right here. There we are. Travelage Radio takes a look at any hotels. That was us. It's like, oh my God. And then another one, Tommy John, the man whose name has become famous for career-saving surgery, talks pitching. He was on the network with us. Wow. That's just some of the things that we've done over the years. It's incredible. Here was another pick. What do we get on this one? Oh, Jack and Me, author Tania Grossinger. Sorry, there it is right there. We got one of the 5 picks on the day. That was crazy. That's just a few, folks. We've been fortunate. A lot of it is because of Blog Talk Radio. That's where we got to start. That's where we met all of you. And now we're here doing it on StreamYard. And we're just absolutely blown away by it. Here's to another... I almost said, here's to another 15 years.
Oh, wow. Another 15 years, Raj?
I don't know. I'm getting old. But today, we kick off year 16. Didn't know what I was going to do today. Had no idea. But I figured it was time that we replayed some of the episodes. There's a lot of other stuff. We'll be going over it on the end of year program. Believe it or not. Yeah, thank you, Tanya. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, we interviewed Nichelle Nichols, obviously, as well. Walter Koenig. Donovan from Julian Glover. He played Donovan. Folks, that happened on Veterans Day. Richard Ratty, God bless his soul, he's passed away. He was contacted by Julian Glover, the actor that played Donovan in Raiders of the Lost Ark and the Last Crusade. That he wanted to do our program on Veterans Day from the United Kingdom. Wow. He found out about us and wanted to do the program.
Oh,
Lost
yeah?
our minds. Yep. And he was in Game of Thrones. I think he was the treasurer or something. But he was a lot of fun. And he told us, I just finished a production, filming all day, and I'm going to be going. He called in 5 minutes before from somewhere in London. He said, I'm going to be in my makeup chair because I have a theater program at 6 p.m. your time. Or no, 6 p.m. his time. We did it around 11 a.m. our time, I think. He was so awesome. That was unreal. And he says, the only time but I want to be on your program. Wow. That one blew us away.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. I can see that. I'm glad that I'm glad for that, Raj. That's awesome.
That one was crazy. Yeah.
Because you didn't have to chase someone down. They came to you.
Yeah. His agent contacted us and said, Mr. Julian Glover would like to do your program. Is today possible?
Yeah, let me clear my schedule. No.
We know it's a holiday for you guys, but he's available today. We made that one happen in about 15 minutes.
Wow.
And it went on for an hour. And that one was a fun episode.
Was that on Blog Talk then?
It was on Blog Talk. If you look up on our page and you look up Julian Glover, you'll find the episode. That one was.
Did you ever think of putting some of those on the YouTube or StreamYard and just like a reproduction? Like having them. I know they'd probably be their audio only, but still.
Well, you can put a picture on in the background.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can. You can play around with it. I almost said something I shouldn't say, but of course, it's never stopped me before. But yeah, I know you can add images to it, but still, it'd be interesting, like to do something like the best of NDB Media Blog Talk, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, because some of those things interviews that you did would probably appeal to people today.
Yes. That's a frontal view of us at the casino. And that's the couch potato on the left, is the big dog there in the middle, and I was on the right or the left a bit. But if you look carefully, folks, that right there, those are the casino chips, man. We're on the blackjack table. Do you see that little metal thing, that crystal thing? That's where they drop the 20s and 100s. And there's a box underneath. They were so kind there. They treated us so well. It was great.
Sounds like a fun time, Roger.
We were at the Golden Gate once, and we were at Binion's twice.
So did you do a show from there? I mean, did you do the show? Which casino did you do the show from then?
Well, the first one was Golden Gate.
Okay.
And then some months later, we did Binion's.
And so they didn't mind you. So they didn't mind you setting up doing a show.
No. When we were at Binion's, we were outside their bullpen by their sports parlor. So we could see all of the people that were betting, and it was cool. And we were outside of the restaurant, and they asked us to advertise the beer and pizza special, which was really cool. And we did that, and it was fun.
So it was quid pro quo, huh?
Yeah, the Golden Gate, they treated us to a meal after, which was very kind of them.
Oh, yeah.
And they offered us drinks throughout the program. No liquor, but water, drinks, like sodas. And I mean, they were kind.
So you got some free pop out of the deal.
Yeah. And then after, they were so kind that they gave us in any of the restaurants at the Golden Gate, they said, here you go. Go and order whatever you'd like. It's on us. I had never had New York steak. I had it at the Golden Gate. And actually, the Golden Gate, I believe, is the oldest active casino in Las Vegas, which is kind of cool.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I hope it all works out for you next year then.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I mean, are you feeling up to it right now, or are you just planning?
No.
I know that are things better for you now, or are you about the same?
No, I'm actually having a lot of trouble. As a matter of fact, I have forgotten to take my medication.
Right now. Your medication for tonight?
That's what keeps going off. It goes off at 7, and I forgot to bring it over.
Yeah, well, I just hope you feel up to it, because I know that's something that you would enjoy. I know you've been cooped up at,
Yeah.
I know that. I know what's going on, and it'd be nice to see if you could just get out and about and enjoy some of your time off.
Yeah, we'll see.
You know what I
tell ya.
mean.
Yeah. No, I understand what you meant. Yes.
I mean, I guess you'd probably want to do it before tax season starts, right? Or after.
It might be after the reality.
So
I
that
don't
would
think we'll be
be
able to. Yeah.
sometime in this early spring or summer.
Yeah, May, June, or July.
Okay.
Being indoors is okay in the casino.
Well, yeah, but that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, we're hoping to do that, folks. So I think at this point, I want to go ahead and thank everyone over the years, and it's not going to do justice. I did fail in naming names, so on the next episode that we do on Monday Night in America on the regular program, I will go back in time because there are over 50 people that have been on this program once or more than once on a regular basis. There's a lot of people. Folks, I started with, as you heard, John D'Ambrosio and with Sergio Casares that Monday night. And then Fred Becerra joined and Thomas. Thomas was there for the practice episodes. He wasn't there for the opening one.
Oh,
But Thomas was there from the very beginning. Thomas is the only one that, poor soul, poor guy, he still suffers. He was in from the very beginning. He was. And it's still. So he would be Anakin to me. Yeah, I guess that would be right. I'm Palpatine. He would be Anakin. And then speaking religiously, the big dog is the one on my right. But that's neither here nor there. So I cannot believe it's been 15 years. But folks, the memories are doing the programs with my co-hosts, with the people in the chat room, our guests. They're incredible stories. I was lucky to be a part of it. And I cannot wait to see what we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
And I think it's
Turn
great.
myself invisible. And my,
Yeah.
my invisibility cloak's on.
Yeah, you're oh, there you are. Folks, it's Klingon Bird of Prey. It's decloaking.
Oh, jeez.
Fire, Mr. Scott. Star Trek 3, Search for Spock. Anyway, thank you, folks. It means a great deal to us that you spent a minute with us or you spent hours with us. It's been fun. And I can't wait to see what happens moving forward. I know that people have laughed with us. They've cried with us. They've thrown things at the radio. They've thrown things at their computer at us because we have felt it. And it's part of it. I can't wait to see if we do another 15 years where we're going to go. We have plans. And I thank everyone. Tomorrow, Travel Talk Radio will be on Blog Talk Radio. On Thursday, Dan Schlossberg is on Travel Itch Radio on blogtalkradio.com/NDB Media. Ahsoka will be on Thursday night at 6 p.m. on StreamYard. Saturday, Sports Talk with the Guys, home of the Monday Morning Quarterbacks on Saturday. You get the joke, right? You know what a Monday Morning Quarterback is. Well, we're so far behind that we're on Saturday. That's how bad it is. That was the tagline. And then on Saturday night, Lower Decks. And Sunday, what do you have on Sunday?
Sunday is...
Oh, my God, it's October!
Yep, it's October. So we will be discussing 1931 Frankenstein as we start our Sunday of Scares every Sunday in October. So
Sunday
first up,
of Scares.
we will Jay and I and you and Peter or whoever shows up will be discussing the 1931 film of Frankenstein with Boris Karloff. So it should be a good time as we start the October Scare. So I hope you show up. It's 3
That was
o'clock Pacific.
90. How many years ago? 93, 92?
What? Yeah. Yep. Almost.
Okay.
Almost
I
the
can
century.
handle that movie. All right.
You can handle that movie. It's not too
Yeah.
scary for you, Tanya.
Well, some of us are not into those movies. I have a
That's
tough
true
time with them.
story. True story. Not everybody's a horror fan.
Yeah. But I found out lately I was stupid. I should have been a horror fan because to all the horror directors of the world for the last 40, 50 years, teenage boys knew it. The reason why they made horror flicks, they're called date movies.
Oh, cool, Tanya. I hope you can join us then if you like the classic Universal monsters. That'd be awesome. But that's first up.
Well, there it is. It'll be good. Do you have a schedule of the movies?
Well, the first up is
Frankenstein, which
and
is
then
great.
the second one, Jay is doing Smile.
Ooh.
And then I think you're up with Dawn of the Dead.
The 1978 movie.
Yep.
Oh my God. That movie scared me. I was stuck at the theater. I was chaperoning for my sister when I went to see that movie. And folks, it was really funny because I saw Star Trek the Motion Picture about 13 times because I was the one watching the movie. They were on a date. And it was so funny where one time they actually said, well, let's watch something else. You ain't watching the movie. Shut up.
So you were the third wheel?
I was a chaperone.
Well, like I said. But
yeah.
Oh,
so
well.
I remember when they didn't say a word when I said, you ain't watching the movie. So I'm not going to embarrass my sister at this point. But yeah.
All right.
I saw it. I contribute to that $40 million profit for Star Trek the Motion Picture.
Looks like you were the one that contributed all of it, but
quite a bit. But
Yep.
they were really inexpensive going to the drive-in. Even then, it was inexpensive. But anyway, folks, we're good. Again, I want to thank everyone. Thank you to Big Dog for joining me, for Almighty for joining me, Tanya, Jay, Elizabeth, Aisha. I believe I got Ev Thomas and everyone who commented on this episode. It's not my birthday. It's not even the network's birthday. It's our anniversary of being able to meet and spending time together. Think of all the time that we've been on air together, folks. Damn! We could have lived a quality life. Oh, my goodness. That's Richard. I'm Roger. Folks, 15 years are in the books. Today, kicking off year 16. You ain't seen nothing yet. We'll see you guys on the other side. Peace!